ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Monday, September 23rd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We got a lot to get into. Of course, Ohio State Marshall happening over the weekend. We'll recap a little bit of that. We also have Coach Huff, his comments from earlier today during the coach's call with the Sunbelt media. So we'll share that with you. And, of course, we're going to open up our text line this hour at 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. I got something for you today. Going to ask you to guess the final score. It's Monday. Let's go ahead and start predicting the game now. Guess the final score between Marshall and Western Michigan. And this is an odd number, so you're going to benefit from this. We try to keep all the tickets together that we get, and so I have a 5-pack of tickets. All the seats are together. So this is a family 5-pack of tickets to go see the Herd take on Western Michigan, and that game coming up on Saturday. So you can enter to win. Our text line this hour again is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So guess the final score today between Marshall and Western Michigan coming up on Saturday. So we'll get to Coach Huff in just a few minutes. We've got football coming up tonight as well. It's Monday Night Football. The Bengals are going to take on Washington. We've got the game for you coming up. So if you're looking to watch, maybe say Jacksonville and Buffalo, and you want to keep an ear on the Bengals game, we got you covered. Just tune in tonight. We go on the air at 6:30 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. You can tune into the Bengals and Washington Commanders tonight. Hopefully the Bengals can get the first win of the season. They're 0-2. I'd hate for them to fall to 0-3. Speaking of teams in the division, Giants got the win over the Browns. I'm not sad about that, 21-15. That was good. Steelers got the win over the Chargers, 20-10. I am a little sad about that. And the Sunday night game featuring the Chiefs and Falcons went the way of the Chiefs. They are not invincible, but they're finding ways to win. So they won that one 22-17. Baseball yesterday, the Pirates got the best of the Reds 2-0. Both teams have today off. And I tell you, if the Pirates would have been able to just play the Reds every single game, the Pirates would have almost been undefeated. And speaking of the Reds, I don't know if I agree with this because I don't think it was his fault, but the Cincinnati Reds yesterday firing manager David Bell after 6 seasons. His record, 409 wins, 456 losses. And so about a week to go, the Bengals pulled the trigger. I don't think it was David Bell's fault. How do you run that organization? It's atrocious. They don't spend any money. They don't give you the tools you need to win, and they expect you to manage the team. And then when the result doesn't go the way they think it should in management, they get rid of you. You're the guy that's at fault. And you don't have the tools. You don't have what you need. You don't have the players, nothing that would help you manage a baseball team into a contender. The Reds are a shell of the organization's former glory days, its former self. It's gone. I don't even find Reds baseball interesting much anymore because the front office doesn't care. So why should I care, right? If the team doesn't care, that's just telling you that, we don't care, so why should you? So David Bell, I don't necessarily agree with that, but Bell let go after 6 seasons. What do you think? You think the Reds got the wrong guy? Look, you're not going to fire the owners. You're an owner. You're not going to fire yourself, so you got to fire the manager. I don't know what's going to happen with this team, but I thought David Bell, for what he had to work with, did a fine job. I'm not saying he was perfect, but at the same time, how do you win with that organization? That's the big question. How do you win with that organization? I mean, at least the Bengals are actually making an effort in Cincinnati to be a winner and to be a contender. They might still not have the best track record when it comes to those things, but I think they're getting better as an organization. still fighting some of those Bengals tendencies to maybe not negotiate with your star wide receiver and give him a deal early, even though he's got 2 years left on the contract. Maybe you keep him happy and you give him a new deal. I don't know. Want to see how that plays out. But they get things wrong sometimes in Cincinnati. Absolutely. And so here we are. Cardinals beat the Guardians 2-1. Cleveland's got the day off today. And then Atlantic League action. How about that? The Charleston Dirty Birds will face York in the best-of-5 league championship series. That starts tomorrow. It's going to be 6:35 p.m. for those of you maybe wanting to head up at Gomart Ballpark. So congratulations to the Dirty Birds having a season, aren't they? Baseball is still alive in the capital city. So a busy day in front of us. We'll get into a lot of it when we continue. We'll recap what happened over the weekend. Marshall women's soccer in action yesterday. Played to a 1-1 draw at Georgia State. Ohio State still third in this week's Associated Press College Football Top 25. Texas and Georgia, the only two teams ahead of the Buckeyes. Louisville's 15th. And James Madison's actually receiving votes. So how about that? Getting a representative from the Sun Belt. And, of course, the big stuff that's been happening today, we'll touch on it if we have a moment, is the Pac-12 trying to put together a league, rebuild it. And so there was an offer on the table. Looks like the teams that were offered from the American are deciding to stay put. So I guess the financials work better in the American, or there has to be a better reason for the teams like Memphis to stay. We'll dive into that. So we'll save that for a little bit later on. But I want to make sure that our text line is open for you. So we've got that running now. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Time to pick the score for a chance to win a family 5-pack of tickets to go see the Herd take on Western Michigan, going back to the MAC glory days. I loved it when those two teams used to battle for championships. All right, let's get the text going before we hit the break. First up, texter says, Paul, it's going to be 38-13 Herd. That's a good number. That's a pretty good one. I like it. Also, texter says, Paul, 38-35 Herd. It's going to be an overtime victory against the Broncos. Marshall underperforms. Broncos come out hot. Marshall plays down the competition. Trap game looking ahead to App State. That's a well-thought-out text. Not just a score, gave me a reason why, and also told me that I should look out for some things because this is a trap game. I like it. Okay. You can jump in as well. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. To kind of help you figure this out a little bit better, we got Coach Huff, his comments from earlier today during the Sun Belt conference call. We'll get into that when we continue. As Marshall looking to bounce back after a 49-14 defeat at the hands of Ohio State. We'll talk about the game and look ahead to Coach Huff's comments when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Refresh your home today at Menards with window images, blinds, and shades. We have everything you need for updating your window treatments. We carry vinyl, aluminum, and faux wood blinds, cellular shades, and more. Save big on window treatments at Menards. Plus, get them cut to width in-store for free. Visit Menards.com and view our entire selection of window treatments today. Plus, the weekly flyer and other great deals going on now.
Save big money at Menards.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149. Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Our text line this hour to be a part of the show is 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. Today our question is to guess the final score. Marshall and Western Michigan coming up on Saturday, and to kind of sweeten the deal for you, I've got a family 5-pack. All 5 seats are together. So we're giving them away in a family 5-pack. All you have to do is be a part of their text line and participate to win. 304-396-TALK. Give me the score. Who's going to win? Marshall, Western Michigan, and what do you think the score is going to be? Earlier today, I had a chance to eavesdrop in on the Sun Belt Conference call with the coaches and Coach Huff, a participant in that call. Of course, Marshall losing to Ohio State 49-14, so it's Monday. That means we probably have looked at the film already, and we're moving on. We're getting set for Western Michigan. Of course, we're still going to talk about the loss, but let's go and hear a little bit from Coach Huff, kind of give you an idea of what the head man is thinking this week. And first up, in Coach's opening statement, Coach Huff acknowledged the tough loss last week, but emphasized that the team has moved on and is focused on their upcoming game against Western Michigan. He also noted that the historical connection between the two teams, and he expressed excitement about returning home.
Yeah, obviously great environment last week. Really huge challenge. Didn't come out on the end of it the way we wanted to, but we've turned the page to Western Michigan and excited about getting back home and competing against a team that has a lot of history with this school, obviously because of being in the same conference as a few years ago. So excited about that. Got a lot of work to do to get ready for Saturday.
I'm kind of curious, for younger Herd fans, what do you really know about Western Michigan? What have you found out? What have you been told? What are the older Herd fans telling you? For Herd fans that have been around for a little longer, You know that Western Michigan and Marshall had a really nice thing going over a few years of being in the MAC together, championship games. It was an exciting time. It was really good football. So there is some history there. I just don't know how much the younger generation knows about Marshall and Western Michigan. You have to probably be my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe just a little bit younger to appreciate Marshall and Western Michigan. But, yeah, that's going to come up this week. There is a connection. There is a history between these two teams. Now, next up, Coach Huff, he was asked about the defensive line energy, and he agreed that the team's energy often starts with the defensive line, and he praised the leadership and the personalities of the group. He also mentioned that they take pride in their performance, and the ability to disrupt plays from the line is crucial to the team's success.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, a lot of our leaders, a lot of our strongest personalities on the team, and a positive is on that. It's in that group. A lot of guys who have been here and have played at a very high level for a long time are on that group. Obviously, Coach Street does a really good job. I mean, he's is probably as Marshall made as anyone on the staff, being that he played here, had an opportunity to come back here and chose to come back when we got here as a staff. So he coaches with a lot of pride. They obviously, you win the game on the lines of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And that group takes a lot of pride in how they perform, how they prepare. And obviously if you can be disruptive on the defensive line, it makes it very difficult to run or pass. So they feel like they have the first opportunity to truly disrupt the game, and I think our team feeds off their energy.
They're going to need it on Saturday for sure, because it's one thing to go up against Ohio State. They've got the best of the best. And I thought Marshall performed well. I thought Marshall at times had some opportunities to get some stops, and there was just a lot of times where stronger, faster, more disciplined maybe took over. Defensive line, I thought, held its own. So that's a group that hopefully will continue to find ways to generate energy for the team. Now, there was a follow-up question about, is that why you start on defense? You like to start on defense when you have the opportunity. And Coach talked about being an offensive coach, and he said that starting on defense helps set an aggressive tone for the game. He believes in winning the middle eight, and he also likes the strategy of just getting the ball to start the second half after defensive adjustments.
I'm an offensive coach, so I kind of like to get a feel of the game, I think defensively, you can kind of play a little more aggressive, regardless of what the other team does. So I kind of like to start there. I truly believe in winning the middle eight. So I think if you can go out and get a stop, on the first drive, you really have gotten the ball twice to start the game, or to start the half. It's just kind of my philosophy. There are some other factors that go into that. How do I think the wind is going to play a factor? How do I think, injuries play a factor with what we have, don't have? Do I think they have some injuries that we want to see who's playing first? So there are some things that go into it. But typically I like to try and play for the middle eight. And I always think offensively coming back out after the half and getting the ball, you're able to adjust a little bit on what you want to do, what they've done to you earlier. So that's just kind of been my philosophy. I don't know if it, you could probably ask 100 coaches and there probably goes a different way. But that's just been my philosophy.
Yeah, I agree with that. You could ask 100 coaches, you probably get 100 different answers to what you want to do. But hasn't it always been sort of the rule of thumb? You start on defense first, also you get the ball back in the second half. That seems to be the standard answer for a lot of coaches. Now, Marshall's playing at home. Finally, after several weeks of either an open date or just being on the road, Marshall is home, and Coach Huff was asked about just the importance of playing at home. And he talked about the significance of being back home after a month on the road. He also noted how it helps engage the student body. He's really pushing that. And also it allows the team to play with more comfort and familiarity. Beyond the field, home games improve the local community and business, and that's pretty much what Coach said in this statement.
Well, I think it's good, from the 50,000 foot view, it gets a chance to engage our student body. Our fans travel very well, and they support us on the road very well. But the student body is a huge, part of what we do here at Marshall. So for those students who can't just get in a car and go to every away game, for us to be here, it carries a lot. I'm a big believer in, you're able to kind of have a little bit more comfort, at home. We've gone to two venues that have been phenomenal in environment. But you spend a lot of time, where's the bathroom, okay, where's the locker room? How far is the locker room from the field? Which way does the wind blow? Which way does the sun set? There's just a lot of things comfort wise you get at home. And then obviously, from a coach's standpoint, your families, the game's over, you get a chance to be with your family, not sitting on a plane or a bus for a few hours, trying to get back. So it collectively, it has an effect. Obviously, at the end of the day, for 3.5 hours, the field is 55 in the third, 53 in the third by 100. So it really doesn't matter in game. But I think there are a lot of things that surround the in-game portion that matter. I truly believe in true fan engagement, student body engagement. These young men go to classes with these people, so they see them, hey, come out and watch us play. Hey, you played well. We're able to have a little bit more of a connectivity with the Huntington community when we're home. There are some fans who just aren't able to travel. So I do think it makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, from a community standpoint, business goes way up when the herd are at home. I get it. There's more pizza sold, there's more beer sold, there's more hamburgers sold, there's more biscuits sold. There's a lot that goes on to this thing when we're at home. So not only does it have an effect on our players and our program, but it affects this community.
So the biscuits being sold, very important. I'm going to be upfront with you. There's going to be a lot of biscuits sold. Doesn't matter if it is game day or not. I'm just going to say that out loud. Finally, from Coach Huff today, and again, we're listening in from his appearance earlier on the Sun Belt Conference call. He talked about Western Michigan just a little bit. We might get more out of him tomorrow about Western Michigan, but in this statement, he stressed the importance of getting healthy when he was asked about, hey, what do you need to do this week against Western Michigan? So he stressed the importance of getting healthy and making adjustments to slow down Western Michigan's offense. He did point out that their quarterback, Hayden Wolf, is a major threat and that disrupting his rhythm will be key. And he said that the team is using this opportunity to refine their game plan and address tendencies from earlier games.
The first thing we got to do is get healthy. If you guys saw the game, but that was like an NFL team versus the group of five, try-hard group. So we got to get healthy, one. The second thing we've got to do is we've got to adjust now, right? Because we've put a lot of time into making decisions from a schematic standpoint, not necessarily what works best, but how do we protect our deficiencies, right? How do we try to get, one of the greatest offenses I've ever seen on the ground? How do we manage, a quarterback, like Drones a couple of weeks ago? So we got to kind of recalibrate what we do. We should be in a position where there should be some spots on the field where we have an advantage, whether that is, at one position group or another. So that changes a little bit of what we do. I think we're at the point now, all of college football is at the point now, you've got some tendencies out there that you got to start to really, think about, hey, every third down we're doing this, or every second down we're doing this. So you got to start to play for that. And then again, Hayden's a phenomenal quarterback. He can pick you apart. He's done a really good job at ODU and at Western of letting the offense and the plays come to him. I think their coaches are doing a really good job of keeping it in his wheelhouse so he's comfortable. So we've got to make him uncomfortable and kind of get him to do something outside of the routine or the rhythm that he's been able to play in the last couple of weeks. He can spin it. He does a really good job reading coverages. He does a really good job delivering catchable balls. He's an anticipator. You kind of see him let the ball out of his hand before a receiver gets in his break or gets out of his break. So all of those things that we got to kind of, we talked about this being our season. This is the chance that we get the opportunity to really affect our season moving forward. So we've got to kind of go back and look at all of it. We've looked at it and took it as a brand new start. So we're going back and looking at all our installs. We're looking at all our tendencies. We're looking at, hey, we really like this play, but does it work? Hey, this player we thought was going to be really, really good in this position. Do we need to move him, or do we build on that? So this is kind of it'll be a little bit new. I say new, obviously we're going to wear green and we're going to run out of a tunnel and we'll have an M on our helmet, but we've kind of got a chance to make some adjustments and, hey, let's try this. Hey, this doesn't work as well. Hey, this works really well, but it doesn't work well against this opponent. So we've been able to kind of tighten up our game plans and what we want to do now to kind of really the identity of this team schematically should really start to come out.
And that's Coach Huff from earlier today. We'll get a chance to speak with him again tomorrow during his media appearance for local media, and we'll be there as well. So we'll get your text in here in just a moment, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Marshall taking on Western Michigan. Our text line is an opportunity for you to win tickets. We got a 5-pack, family 5-pack to go see the Herd take on Western Michigan this Saturday. And we're asking you what the score is going to be on Saturday. Who's going to win the game, Marshall or Western Michigan? Pick the score for your chance to win a 5-pack to go see the Herd take on the Broncos coming up this Saturday. And if you can't go, you don't win the tickets, don't worry. We've got more opportunities for you here in the next few days. More coming up, including your text when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue is now in Milton. Enjoy all your favorite Buddy's classics like pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more on East Main Street in Milton. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, the home of great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings in Huntington and now in Milton.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Monday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're taking your text this hour, 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. I'm giving you a chance to win a family 5-pack today to go see the Herd take on Western Michigan. That's coming up on Saturday. Of course, if you can't make it to the game, or if you're like me, you actually own a pocket radio, you can take that with you. You can listen to it right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Also on 93.7 The Dog. Now, we're asking you to guess the final score, so let's hit the text line. Let's see what you've said so far. First up, texter says, I'm going to say the Herd, Paul, will beat Western Michigan 27-23. All right, I appreciate that. That's a close score right there. I don't know if I want a close score. I want to see Marshall just go out and throttle a team. That's a little close for my comfort. Also, from the text line, texter says, Paul, Herd's going to win 37-20. One more from the text line, 304-396-TALK. Hey, Paul, I'm feeling good about this game. If we can get healthy, I think the Herd wins 35-14. Go Herd. I like that as well. 35-14, that sounds good. I'd like to have a little more on the Marshall side, a little less on the Western Michigan side, but I think we're going to see a little bit more of what Marshall looks like to comparable talent. And again, Ohio State throttles everybody. So let's keep that in mind. Ohio State throttles everyone. Throttled them 56-0. Now, Western Michigan against Wisconsin lost that game 28-14. It was actually pretty competitive for a while. But still, 28-14, that's not bad against Wisconsin. And, of course, Ohio State's just on another level. And then you got Bethune-Cookman. Keep that in mind. Bethune-Cookman got really hammered by Western Michigan. So Western Michigan took care of its business against a team it's supposed to take care of its business against. But 59-31, that makes me think maybe there's some holes there that Marshall can really tackle, really take advantage of. So I'm optimistic about this. All right, back to our text line. Texter says, Paul, Marshall's going to win 31-24. Good score. Appreciate that. Back to our text line again. Texter says, the real question is, will Tudor's Biscuit World get its own vendor spot within the concourse? Tudor's Biscuit coupon giveaway if Marshall scores a certain amount of points? I'm all for that. Somebody get Ryan Crisp on the phone right now for Marshall. Get that to him quickly. Make that happen. Wouldn't that be something if Tudor's had its own? I don't know if Tudor's as a franchise locally here, one of the franchises has that, or as a company, the food truck. Could you imagine a Tudor's Biscuit food truck parked inside Jones C. Edwards Stadium? That would it would run out of food. Absolutely run out of food. I like that. They definitely need their own vendor spot. Or at least a coupon giveaway. If Marshall scores a certain amount of points, everybody gets a free Thundering Herd biscuit. That would be super cool. All right, back to our text line. Texter says, I'm going to say the Herd will beat Western Michigan 27-23, and I'm going to also say that Marshall and Ohio State should start a series and call it the Biscuit Bowl. Go Herd. I like it. I don't know if Ohio State's going to jump in on that, but I like it. The Biscuit Bowl, that will be fun. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So far, everyone's feeling pretty optimistic about Marshall beating Western Michigan. So what do we know about Western Michigan? Well, they're 0-3 right now. We know, they are 1-2. My mistake. I got ahead of myself. We know that they're 1-2 with tough losses to both Wisconsin and Ohio State. Then they got the 51-14 victory against Bethune-Cookman. They have struggled offensively against the higher tier programs, but they were able to put up a lot of points against Bethune-Cookman. So here's some ideas about what I think we should be looking at this week. First of all, Coach Huff echoed it. Hayden Wolf, he's their quarterback. He's had some inconsistent performances. He was 12 of 18, 141 yards, and an interception against Wisconsin. Ohio State, he was pretty much shut down. The rushing attack, again, we're going from Ohio State and Wisconsin to Bethune-Cookman, but Jalen Buckley, he's their running back. He contributed to the team's only 2 touchdowns against Wisconsin, 64 yards and 16 carries. The run game did struggle against Ohio State. It didn't even average a yard per carry across 31 attempts. So Marshall might have an opportunity here. Maybe can hold Buckley. I don't know if you can hold him to under a yard, but you could hold Buckley to a couple of yards here or there, put the Broncos in maybe long, third and long maybe. We'll see. I think that's something you need to look at here. Can Marshall's defense shut down that run game? The receivers, really not much of a story to tell there. You don't know too much about them because, again, you're going up against Bethune-Cookman, and so they should look good there, but they didn't really perform well against Ohio State and Wisconsin. Anthony Sambucci, he's a guy to keep an eye on. He actually had 3 catches for 41 yards against Ohio State, but there really haven't been that many big plays generated. Modest gains maybe, moderate to modest, and that was against Wisconsin. So receiving core, what they're trying to do maybe will show up on film compared to what we thought they were trying to do. Coach Huff will break it down, obviously. That's a good question for him tomorrow is, what do you see from those receivers? Defensive summary, as far as I'm concerned, has to be the linebackers and the defensive backs for this team. Donald Willis stood out to me. And Bilhal Cone, I think that's how you say it. Those gentlemen lead the defense. They had double-digit tackles against Wisconsin. Willis also put up 11 tackles against Ohio State, but they gave up some big plays. Run game really hurt them, so they are susceptible to the run. And they did not really demonstrate much of a pass defense against Ohio State. They gave up a lot of yardage. Wisconsin's quarterback Tyler Van Dyke threw for 192 yards against them. Ohio State racked up 410 passing yards. So Marshall should have some opportunities there. I'm not saying that Marshall's going to rack up over 400 yards passing, but wouldn't that be something? And their run defense gave up almost 200 yards to Wisconsin and almost 300 yards to Ohio State. That is an area which Marshall should be able to exploit. So this is a team that we've seen struggle against higher level competition, able to get something done against Bethune-Cookman, but not able to really sustain drives and generate points. And they've been able to, I think, correct a few things and look good against Bethune-Cookman, but when you play like or better competition, they've shown that they have struggled at times to stop the run and the pass. So we don't know. I can base what I think this team is capable of based off of Ohio State and Wisconsin, or try to temper it a little bit with what we saw against Bethune-Cookman. So they're probably going to struggle. I think that they're going to have problems on both sides of the ball. They don't really stand out to me defensively or offensively. And again, that's just me looking based on 3 games. I'm not doing film study. Coach Huff will give us his assessment of that, and we'll hear that tomorrow. Let's go back to our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, we're going to flip the script from last week, and we'll win 49-14. All right, I like that. Flip the script. Back to our text line. Paul, it's going to be a 38-14 Herd victory over Western Michigan. Also, Texture says, Paul, Tudor's Thundering Herd biscuit is way better than any West Virginia pepperoni roll. That might be fighting words in some parts of the state, but I'll die on that hill with you. Look, the Thundering Herd is the pinnacle of biscuits at Tudor's Biscuit World. I don't care about the Ron. I don't care about the Mountaineer. I mean, the Mountaineer is good, but the Thundering Herd is the pinnacle of biscuits. It's a meal that can sustain you for hours. It does its job, and it does its job well. You need breakfast, and you might not have a chance to eat for maybe 8 to 12 hours. Get a Thundering Herd. If you're adventurous, get 2. You definitely won't have to worry about eating until late night that night. Yes, I'll take it over the pepperoni roll any single time of the day. Texture says, Paul, I'm just hoping for a Herd win, but I'm going to guess 38-12. And since I keep hearing about Tudors, I'm going to suggest a Peppy, but add an egg. Let's go Herd. One more from the text line, Paul. Marshall wins 17-3, not showing anything until conference play. Ooh, little head games here. Just run enough to win the game. Don't show anything. I'm not exactly scared of Appalachian State at this point right now. I didn't think I would ever say that, but I'm not Appalachian State afraid anymore. By the way, that game's going to be a 3:30 kick. If you don't know the times, of course, coming up on Saturday, it's going to be a 3:30 kick. That's going to be the Hall of Fame game, and then the game against App State is going to be a 3:30 kick, and I think that's going to be the Stripe the Joan game. So back-to-back games at 3:30 at the Joan. More text coming up, 304-396-TALK. We're giving you a chance to win a family 5-pack today to go see the Herd take on Western Michigan this Saturday. More chances to win all throughout the week, but an opportunity for you to win when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 in AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Are you tired of the blazing sun beating down on you while you drive? Well, say goodbye to heat and glare with ProTint, your Lumar Formula One tint installer. ProTint's premier window tinting not only keeps you cool and comfortable, but also protects your vehicle's interior from fading and cracking. ProTint guarantees a flawless installation every time. Choose ProTint for a sleek, stylish look, unbeatable UV protection, and customer service. Visit WV ProTint on Facebook today.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Our text line's 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Let's go back to our text line, and we're asking you to guess the final score between Marshall and Western Michigan coming up on Saturday. I'm going to give you a chance to win if you enter a 5-pack, a family 5-pack of tickets to go see the Herd take on those Broncos. That's coming up on Saturday. We'll give you more chances to win throughout the week, so if you don't win today, you'll have another chance tomorrow. Texter says, Paul, Thundering Herd biscuit with melted cheese hands down over the pepperoni rolls. I think we've got something here. This might be a fight. Thundering Herd biscuit or a West Virginia pepperoni roll? Can we have both? Is it okay if we have both? Can we be friends if we can have both? But at the same time, what if we had to just pick one? Would it be the Thundering Herd biscuit or would it be the pepperoni roll? I, for one, would miss the pepperoni roll, but I would say goodbye to it. You just can't live without the Thundering Herd, especially with the melted cheese. I mean, you have to eat that sometimes with a plate. That's how big it is. That's the go-to biscuit for me. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I mean, what do you think I was going to pick? You think I was going to pick the politician? Think I was going to pick the Mountaineer? Come on. Come on now. You know better than that. Absolutely know better than that. All right. News of the day. Big news of the day. Memphis, Tulane, and USF. I guess I got to throw UTSA in there as well. I just can't believe I have to do that. Are committed to the American. The American released a statement today with those 4 schools. It reads, "We are the American Athletic Conference, a conference that prioritizes student-athletes' welfare, has proud academic institutions, produces fierce competition at the highest level, and has outstanding linear and direct-to-consumer national media partners. Together, we are committed to continuing to build the American brand, exploring new opportunities for exposure and value, and developing innovative economic resources, all in service of our student-athletes. While we acknowledge receiving interest in our institutions from other conferences, we firmly believe that it is in our individual and collective best interest to uphold our commitment to each other. Together, we will continue to modernize the conference, elevate the student-athlete experience, achieve championship-winning successes, and build the future the American way." So, committed to the American. I'm curious what is coming up. What convinced these schools to take a look at the Pac-12 only to walk away? And as a brand, would the Pac-12 still be the better brand than the American? I might argue, yes, that the Pac-12 still might be the better brand. Of course, what would the travel be? If you're UTSA, what would the travel be for you? I mean, would it be push? If you're Tulane, would it be better? Probably not. Memphis, I mean, would Memphis have made that? And keep in mind, Gonzaga is joining the Pac-12. Now, it's not going to be a football member, but it's going to be a full member in everything. Revenue, just not going to play football. So at least as basketball is concerned, I think the Pac-12 might have something there. Gonzaga is definitely a great add. Now, you still need 2 more members to solidify your conference. You want to be a conference. You want to be a football conference. You got to have a certain number. You're down 2. You got some time to go. You lose Memphis. You lose UTSA. You lose Tulane, South Florida. I wonder if there will be maybe we're going to reevaluate this moment here. And where do you go if you're the Pac-12? Which schools out there that might be interesting to you? And that would give you some value in building this thing. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, I know we're going to lose the game, but I was confused about our last 3 plays taking a knee down. Well, Coach Huff addressed a little bit of that in his post-game comments, if you didn't hear him. The game was over. And I don't think he was conceding defeat and just saying, well, we're just not going to try anymore. I think at that point it was more beneficial for Marshall just to get out of there healthy with what you have. Banged up a little bit. You just went up against, and you said that earlier again today, talking about, hey, how we went up against a NFL team. I mean, they're good. I don't know if they're an NFL team, but they're good. I think he was just trying to get out of there, preserve the health of the team, and focus toward conference. Because right now, what's the goal of this team? Obviously, it should be to win every game. But what's the realistic goal? The realistic goal is to come back home, get this win against Western Michigan, then win the conference, win the East Division, win the conference title. Now, the way the schedule plays out, unless Marshall goes on a hot streak and finds itself ranked at the very end, and by some miracle is the highest rated group of 5 school out there, Marshall's not going to be going to the college football playoff, but instead Marshall would get, that coveted championship for 1, and 2, a good bowl game. But I think that was more of a coach is taking a look at the field and said, look, we know we're not going to win the game. Let's not go out there and put ourselves in harm's way much more. We're down a little bit. Let's keep our guys healthy. Let's get out of here. I thought it was I'm okay with it. I wasn't disappointed. Now, if Marshall was close and had an opportunity to win the game, you fire all guns. All barrels, empty them. You shoot everything you have to try to win that game if you're in striking distance. Marshall is not in striking distance, so what's more important? Trying to look good toward the end, finish strong even though you're going to lose, or he made an evaluation, he made a judgment that, okay, let's take these kids' health in consideration and let's get some guys out there that gets them some reps. I mean, Cole Pennington got out there. He got a moment. Braylon Braxton, he's going to be fine, but he had to leave the game. And, of course, Stone Earl, who I thought looked great. And we haven't talked enough about that as well, and hopefully we will. If you doubted the young man before, I think we need to pause and take a look at how well he performed against Ohio State. And I know we have had some dialogue and discussions about how he didn't perform well against Virginia Tech and how maybe Braylon Braxton should have got a chance and an opportunity. And I still think that was maybe a valid argument. Give that young man an opportunity if it's not working. I think Stone, he definitely made some progress between Virginia Tech and Ohio State, and I hope that continues for that young man. It looks promising. I think we're going to be happy with the end result. Again, if Marshall gets the win against Western Michigan, we're going to be out of this thing 2-2 going into conference play, and I think that's where a lot of people thought Marshall might be. 3-1 was a pipe dream. 2-2, I think, is respectable, reasonable at this point. And let's get into conference play and win that. That's probably the goal right now. All right, that's going to do it. We're going to award one of you a 5-pack of tickets. So if you get a text from me in the next few minutes, you won. If not, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
Retransmitting in Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.